It is finally here. Hockey happened this weekend. We were working hard Labor Day weekend, but we certainly aren't working hard for a living. We're working hockey for a living. I'm double-fisted coffee cups. Let's do that hockey. Dan K Show coming at you now. Hockey fans, it is time for Dan K's three things. The first one's with hockey behind us, and that hockey was incredible. Thing number one, the most incredible, our pals at PAL. The PAL Junior Islanders 15U, your white division champions at the Eastern Alliance kickoff. And oh boy, did they kick that thing off this season. Congratulations to PAL. You know, there was over 200 teams, 243 to be exact, participating this week in Massachusetts and New Jersey. PAL comes up the victors at the 15U. Now, number two, we talk about the rest of those teams. How about 35 representatives from the USPHL playing over Labor Day weekend? What a job done by all of these organizations to put that USPHL brand on the map, to put those jerseys on, to get out and kick things off, right? How about the South Shore Kings and Boston Junior Bruins organizations for really taking hold of the events up there in Massachusetts and making it all happen for these young athletes? We can't wait to cover youth and midget hockey all season long. The best brand in USPHL hockey, the best brand in hockey. What am I doing, Lucas? I'm getting too excited. Thing number three. This is why I'm super excited. Elite and premier hockey players, wait no longer. It's time for our way too early predictions in the elite and premier. Last time this happened, a prognosticator. Some may call him a man, but most call him more than that. A god? No, I couldn't. I couldn't. A savant? Maybe an idiot. Idiot savant. A prodigy. A prodigy. Too old for that. My knees don't say prodigy. They call him Dan K. And last year, during these way too early predictions, Dan K said something the world, they shuddered at. They said, whoa, what are you doing, Dan? You don't know if this is right. He said, double dip. No, not what Lucas does with the chips at a barbecue. But all right, he's looking at his watch. My right-hand man, my consigliere, my caddy this upcoming week in New Jersey. Not just yet, but you'll see him on the bag soon with the clubs and the sticks. The man, the myth, the charcuterie legend, Lucas Jones. Welcome into the show.
You know, Dan, I've been informed from some reliable sources that the 5% winnings that you quoted me for being your looper, far too low. I don't know if I missed the memo, but apparently they're getting paid 7-10% on the bag. Where is my cut?
I do more of the Matt Kuchar payment program, which is I give you $1,000 cash up front, and then you don't ask any questions when I win $1 million prize. That's a real story. Go look that up, hockey fans, if you like golf at all.
Yeah, that's a pretty brutal payment plan. We'll go ahead and say that it's at least under negotiation, but I will say this. I've been dreading the caddy thing a little bit, but once I put on the hat and the coveralls, I got to be honest, I got a little excited because you know that when we get out on the golf course, every once in a while, I am the mastermind behind a great Dan K shot. So my goal is to help you shoot the best score that you've ever shot.
I'll tell you what, Lucas, I still think back to that par 5 second shot from about 225 out, tons of water in front. And I go, man, I got to lay this up, Lucas. And you look me in the eye and you said, you grabbed that 3-wood, you put that thing on the back of the green. Next thing you know, we're putting from 10 feet. And that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? It's about teamwork. It's about that ability to understand the drive that your fellow team member needs. And that's where we start things, Lucas. We're seeing training camps starting all around the country. Before we get into way too early predictions, before we recap this youth and midget event this weekend a little bit, I want to just talk about, Lucas, you get into the rink, you're stepping in the door, whether you're down in Richmond, whether you're down in Florida in Tampa Bay or Fort Myers or Palm Beach, or you're in Atlanta, or you're out in the Midwest in Chicago, or you're out in the West in Utah, or you're in Minnesota, you betcha. Or you're, again, apologies to the folks in Minnesota, or you're up in the New England region or the Mid-Atlantic. I've done a good enough job proving that I understand how the U.S. map works. But Lucas, you're walking to this rink, What's this feeling like right now? And what do you have any advice for the boys who are getting things started?
You know what? The advice that I've got right now is grab hold of that excitement, that nervousness, that excitement, that energy. That's not something to be shied away from here, guys. That is something that you want to absolutely take control of and ride it straight into the season, because that feeling, that big ball of energy, that nervousness, that means that you care, that means that you're ready, and that means that you want it. You want it really, really bad. You know, Dan's always been a fan of knocking people down who say, oh, well, this team wanted it more, so they won. Dan K hates that mentality. And you know what? I get that, because every single player, every single team wants victory come the end of the season.
100%. If you don't want it, then walk out the door. All right. If you're walking in and you're starting off with this elite squad, and your plan's not to win a title, your plan's not to be moving up that ladder, that cradle to college model as the years go on in your hockey career, walk out that door. If you're my premier guy and you're not walking in saying family, F, forget, A, about, M, me, I, L, love, why you? Forget about me, I love you. If you're not thinking that when you walk in the building, if it's not about the name on the front, not the name on the back, walk out the building. You know what? Skate out. Let's get out faster. If you're one of my NCDC boys and you just earned yourself onto the big squad and you're playing in the big leagues, you're playing at that tier 2 level, you're playing in the NCDC, home of 3 NHL draft picks last year, more than anyone else at that level, home of some of the best names in junior hockey, some of the best coaching staffs in junior hockey. If you walk into that building and your plan's not to win the Founders Cup end of the knee like my boys with the Jersey Hitmen did this past year, you're outside your gosh darn mind. We walk into a rink prepared to win every darn day. I'm fired up. I'm ready to go. We got Gritty. We got Dan K. We got my honey bear here because my voice is all over the place because I'm learning how to broadcast again. Every year, Lucas, it's like ripping a Band-Aid off. That's not ready to go. I'm excited. Let's get this thing going.
Yeah, it's been getting some voice training in, getting it back ready to go, getting my nice and measured color commentator tone back, really trying to find that lower note. Dan, for you got to find those highs again.
It's funny, folks, for broadcasters at home too, and for just the folks at home, you don't understand the color commentary voice. People always think, Dan, how do you do it? You know, I'm screaming, I'm yelling, I'm jumping around the booth. Sometimes Lucas will crowd surf me from one end to the other because I can't stand still. But that baritone you got to get to, Lucas, to kind of stay in, that gets to the voice too when you're broadcasting 4 to 5 times a day. There have been some times where Lucas goes, hey, I'll give you a break. You do some I'll do some play-by-play. You do some color commentary. And I go to talk, and next thing you know, it sounds like Froggy just walked into the booth. I'd rather be screaming, Lucas, at this point. I'm ready for that. I'm like Dave Grohl. I'm a Foo Fighter. I'm screaming.
That's it. Well, as we get ready for this, Dan, I think it's time to move into some way too early predictions right after this break.
You are watching The Dan K Show. Everything USPHL, from the NCDC to the Premier and Elite Leagues. The Dan K Show with Dan K and Lucas Jones.
Welcome back, hockey fans. And now it's time for the first of our way too early predictions. We're going to start in the Elite. We worked out a few. We think we're going to surprise each other a little bit, but mostly we each think that we're right. And Dan is the man who was right slightly more than I was last year, just a little bit. Why don't you go first?
What I want to say here is not slightly, and what the folks are wondering is Dan K going to make something as big as his prediction last year? He was called crazy. Lucas on the show called him out for his prediction, said it's way too early to know that. What are you thinking? We'll see. Let's just say the last one of these will be pretty exciting. But before we get to the last one, let's start. Our Elite too early predictions. I got 3 way too early predictions, 4 if you count one a little later in the show. I think one of the 2 teams in the championship game will come from the Florida division. And this is kind of a 2-prong, okay? I think you look at the Florida division this year, and I think adding in the Palm Beach Typhoon, think about what the Northern Cyclones organization has done at this elite level year in and year out, just being absolutely dominant up there in the New England region. I think with Joe Flanagan taking the helm down here in Palm Beach with the Typhoon, this could be a very interesting division to watch in the Elite, Lucas. I think Tampa Bay Juniors, they're always young, skilled, speedy. It's the best brand down in the world, man. I love playing with these guys, love watching these guys play the game of hockey. And then you talk about the Atlanta Mad Hatters, always tough to deal with the elite, especially late in the year. You talk about the Florida Junior Blades with the new coaching staff behind the bench. And you talk about the Scarpacci's down there with the Florida Eels. This could be that not only one team in the championship, I think it might just be, I'm going to say it will be the toughest elite division this year.
I think it could be. I think we've seen a lot of progress in the elite division. I think we've seen that talent level, that compete level gets better and better every year. Last year's tournament for the national championship was so much fun. It was absolutely incredible. And Dan, my first way too early prediction also centers around the elite national championship. A division, you pick someone who would be there. I'm going to pick a division that won't be there. The Southeast region will not be represented in the national championship game.
Oh, he's already hated in Hampton. Charlotte can't stand him. The folks in Potomac are belly aching. The fellas in Carolina don't want him to show up to the showcase September 24th through the 27th. And certainly those in Richmond don't like him at all.
Well, you know what? I feel like my job on these way too early predictions is to come out with some relatively strong takes. I feel like that's what makes this fun, right? You come out here and you look at it and you say, okay, everyone knows that the Southeast is one of the powerhouse divisions in the USPHL. Year after year, they're perennial contenders. Year after year, that division itself is a slugfest. But Dan, I think you'd agree with me that once you get to that semifinal round, kind of all bets are off there, right? You got to win one game. You can get a lights out performance from a goaltender. You can get a guy that puts a team on his back. And I think the rest of the divisions this year, you talk about the compete level rising and rising. I think there's going to be some more parity, especially with a couple of new teams in the mix, that you might see the Southeast be ejected from that semifinal round.
As the king of the Southeast, I wish you luck. I think we know the Dan K bump, the Lucas J bump might be the folks hitting you when you head down to the Southeast Showcase in late September. Make sure to boo Lucas. Hashtag boo Lucas. Southeast fans, make sure to tweet at us with hashtag boo Lucas. Next up, I've got this one. I just talked about how much I love this Palm Beach Typhoon team at the elite level, right? And this whole Florida division. The Northern Cyclones have been unstoppable in the New England region the last few years in the elite. They don't win the regular season in New England this year.
Interesting. That is a bold prediction from Dan K, a man who supports that team wholeheartedly.
Lucas, I love the boys in Northern. And if anything, this is what we call the hashtag Dan K bump. I've always, as the boys in Northern know, since the Matty Irwin days, Keenan Waters, welcome to Waters World, Danny Woods, oh, Danny boy, the goal pipes are calling. You talk about the Giordano family up there. Always been a big supporter, right? You talk about Nick Super, all the guys. But you're losing a lot. Each year, they're always bringing in new faces, fresh faces. Can they continue to win year after year in New England? We will have to wait and see. Lucas, what do you have next?
Well, what I have next is kind of reaching back a little bit. There used to be a little bit of a bet when Tiger Woods was in his prime. You'd pick Tiger or the field.
Yeah.
And in the Mid-Atlantic Division, the Rockets Hockey Club, over the last couple of years, have established themselves as, I would say, the Tiger Woods of that division. The Rockets Hockey Club are incredibly fantastic franchise. Their elite team, led by the incomparable Coach Todd Wagenbach, is an absolute firestorm of talent. My way too early prediction is the field this year in the Mid-Atlantic Division. I am forced to go against our lifestyle coach, Todd Wagenbach, here and say that another team is going to win the Mid-Atlantic come end of the season.
Hashtag alienating our fan bases from the Dan K Show. We've built fan bases and we are just making them miserable.
Knock them down.
I apologize, hockey fans. This is hot off the presses, ladies and gentlemen. I can't believe this bet from Lucas. I'm going to tell you what my third prediction is right now. It's in retaliation of this. I've crossed out what my other prediction was. This is now my last prediction in the elite. Lucas is wrong. Rockets win the Mid-Atlantic. Rockets score the most goals in all of the elite this season because I've seen Todd Wagenbach I've seen him on a beach chair. I've seen him grilling and chilling. He's taken us to the golf course now. I've seen Todd Wags on the back of the Sea-Doo riding the waves out there in the jet ski. This is the most relaxed man in junior hockey. There is no one more relaxed. Shows up in the salmon shorts and the sunglasses, man. He's got the shades rolling. Todd Wagenbach against the field. I will make that bet any day. The Rockets win the Mid-Atlantic in the Elite.
Well, before I get to my last too early prediction, I feel like all of a sudden Coach Wagenbach is going to be a little less generous with the handicap index next time we go golfing after that. But, we'll see. You get to have that bulletin board material. I am surely happy to provide that. My last way too early prediction is for the semifinal round. And Dan, I think one of these new teams is going to fly high this year, and they're going to make it all the way to the semifinals. You've got the Palm Beach Typhoon. You've got the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. I think these two teams have some impressive lineage. I think one of these squads is going to make it to the semis. They've done a great job of building the organization and building a bed of talent. And let's get some of that new blood injected. You always like to see it.
I love it, Lucas. And that's a great pick. And you look at this Elite division this year, I can't wait to see how it unfolds. It's a real depth-filled division. And you saw it last year, right, Lucas? You saw just how many teams had a shot at it by the time you got the Nationals, by the time you made the trip down to Chesapeake last year. I cannot wait to see how the Elite shakes out. You don't like our predictions, Elite players and fans? Prove us wrong. You want to chirp us? We're all available on social media at @the_Dan K Show. Make some TikToks for us. If you make a TikTok right now, we have the Holiday Follow Challenge later this year. If we have players make TikToks chirping the Dan K Show's predictions or celebrating our predictions, and you send us a TikTok, I will count it as 2 votes, 2 early season votes for the #Holiday Follow Challenge later this year. It's the only way you can vote. Go to TikTok, follow the Dan K Show, send us your TikToks about our predictions.
Way too early votes for way too early predictions from the Dan K Show. And coming up next, our premiere way too early predictions.
The Dan K Show would like to thank all of our fantastic sponsors for the work that they do. If you're interested in partnering with the Dan K Show, reach out to @the_Dan K Show on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and you too can work with the most watched show in junior hockey.
Welcome back once again, folks. You've heard our Elite way too early predictions. Go ahead and fire off a few tweets. Send us a couple of Instagram comments. Send us a TikTok. Go comment on Facebook. Let us know what you thought. If you agree with us, if you disagree with us, feel free to let us know. Your tweets, your comments might end up in next week's Empty Net. But first, on to the premiere. Dan, would you like to go first with your way too early predictions? You've had a sip of coffee. Are you fired up, ready to go?
I'm fired up, ready to go. I'm on coffee cup number 15. I told you I'm double fisting right now. This time of year, I got to stay awake. I'm awake most of the day, most of the night right now. Let's do that hockey though, Lucas. And this is a situation where I look at pick number 1, and I want to start slow here. This is a team that I really like. RJ Ziegler and the ownership group here. They're really putting it together. He's the owner of this squad. I call him a group because he's like a million people, Lucas. He really is. The amount of work he puts in. I like what Potomac has done this offseason. I think the Potomac Patriots this season have the most wins in franchise history. I think that's what you see at a Potomac. I think it's a bounce back year for these young guys out there. I'm excited to see what they've put together in Potomac.
I like that. I like this Potomac team. Every year I feel like they add a little more talent. I feel like that team comes together a little bit more. Would not be surprised to see your pick come true, Dan. But I'm going to go to the Atlantic West with my first one here. I'm going to go to who I think is going to win that division. And I think this is going to be an interesting division to watch in general because you've got the surprise team of the national championship last year, Elmira. You've got Scranton Knights. You've got the Hershey Cubs. And you've got the always talented Skipjacks Hockey Club. Utica, Buffalo, all these teams are right on the verge here. But I think one team's going to come out top. And I think it's the Hershey Cubs. I think the Cubs are winning that division. First year in the USPHL, first year in this newly formed division. I think that's part of it here too, Dan. This divisional realignment in the Atlantic is definitely going to mix things up a little bit. And that's why I love this Atlantic West division. I'll be watching them all season long.
Hear me out, okay? I like the pick. I love the pick. I love what the Boudreaux family's doing out there. You know, you look at Brady behind the bench. I can't wait to see him take the helm here and make this thing happen. You look at what Crystal and Bruce are doing behind the scenes. They're making it all work, making it all gel together right now, right? Brand new team, new season. Things are going good in Hershey. It's funny because it sounds scripted, but I'm jumping in order here to make it sound scripted with my next way too early prediction, okay? Same division. Also a new team. We all know they called me the mayor of Elmira last year. We'd walk into Elmira, the townspeople would put signs up. We called a lot of their home games, a lot of their games last year, and they would go, "Oh, Dan K, the mayor's here, please." I won the write-in vote in the local election. We know that. The townspeople wanted me to take over Elmira.
No, they
said, "We gotta get things marching." I said, "Not ready for my political career yet, maybe next year, maybe next year." Am I announcing my candidacy for the presidency? No.
I do think you may have been confusing an angry mob for a supportive march. Just throwing that out there.
Hey, if they're yelling loudly and I hear my name, it's always positive to me. But we keep moving. I'm like Mr. Burns. Simpsons joke. No one's going to get it. Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights.
Ooh.
Number one, I make the prediction that I'm going to bother both of these franchises to put together a cup game each year between the two in the regular season, that the winner of the regular season wins the Bear Cup. And we get a Grizzly Bear Cup because you got Wilkes-Barre and then you got Hershey Cubs. And I think it's a chocolate bear. I think we make a bear out of chocolate. We go to the Hershey's folks and we get this done. The Bear Cup. But I think the Wilkes-Barre Knights win this division. I love what Mr. Welsh is doing in Wilkes-Barre.
I love that pick. I think that's a great one too. I'm telling you, this Atlantic West division is going to be fun. I'm excited to watch some of this hockey this year and really get a feel for what this division is going to look like. Going to be huge implications in power rankings as well. Let's move to another division that's always fun to watch, the Midwest West. A division that we are almost banned from putting teams in the power rankings for, because every time we do, they tend to lose their next couple of games. So let me go ahead and just throw some positive energy out there at the start of the season and just go ahead and pick a winner of the division. How's that sound? Let's pick a winner of the most competitive division in the Premier right now. And let's call it, I don't know, the Hudson Havoc. The Hudson Havoc are winning this division hands down. This is a team that was on fire last year, got off to a late start. They're bringing a ton of talent back in. We've put the feelers out and the feelers have returned whispers of the impending greatness of the Hudson Havoc. I believe the whispers. I believe in the Hudson Havoc. This team is fired up and ready to go.
And those whispers, Lucas, you're talking about, I think they might have come from a guy, Mr. Scott Sturgeon, a Hall of Famer in my books, and the smartest man I know in hockey, who knows what he's talking about, especially when he talks this Midwest game.
Very clear whisperer as well. You can hear the whispers.
Hear the whispers. Mostly at a normal auditory level. I always got a call. But Sturge, man, he told me, watch out for this Havoc team. But if our luck holds true with our Midwest West selections, we apologize now to the Hudson Havoc for finishing last in the Midwest West. We move on. Next up, I've got another pick here, Lucas. This one goes to the national semifinals, okay? I think a team from the Mountain or Pacific. We're still staying a little soft with these predictions, but they're going to go. A team from the Mountain or Pacific. I think right now Pueblo looks like they might be that team. End up in the national semifinals or further, at least the national semifinals, though.
Interesting.
I love the work going on out there. We've seen a lot of big-time commits. Watch out for the Mountain and the Pacific.
I like it. I don't think that's a soft pick at all. I mean, these are two good divisions, but with the expansiveness of the Premier now, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 divisions. I don't think it's a soft pick to have one of those two teams in the semifinals, especially with how competitive it is, especially considering that Premier National Championship. Sometimes games are semifinal hopes are dashed on goal differentials, right? So it could absolutely happen. I am going to go out to the Pacific here. This one might be a soft pick. I'll take onus on that, but I think the Long Beach Shredders are going to surprise a lot of people. I think they're going to finish top 1, top 2 out of that Pacific division. I would not be surprised to see them head out to the East Coast to compete in that national championship. But I think in a competitive Pacific Division, I think the Shredders top 2. That's going to be, I'll sharpen the edges on that a little bit.
And you know what? I think they absolutely deserve praise here because you see what they do, not just on the ice, but off the ice. I mean, you talk about what Emerson Edom's doing with this brand new franchise in Long Beach.
Mm-hmm.
This guy is going to change the hockey world. Mark my words right now. I loved him when he played the game on the ice. Love him that he's putting the game together off the ice now. Emerson Edom is an absolute stellar advocate for the game of hockey as we put our player first mantra to the test and we work to grow the game of hockey into every neighborhood across every country in this world, and we grow this game of hockey. Emerson Edom is the absolute pillar of what we want, man. He is doing a great job in Long Beach. Love what the Shredders are putting together. Can't wait to see him shred it up. It's going to be tubular this year, guys. Okay? We're breaking out the Spicoli voice for this.
I tell you, I'll always support a team where every night is 80s night. That is my vibe.
Okay, we got the long hair flying. Okay, we're shredding an R. We're shredding an R. But what I want to know is, like, do you take the 1 to the 9 to get there, or like what roads are we? What highways are we taking to get to the rink today, bros?
Well, hopefully we get to find out what highways to take to the rink because I would love to get out there this year.
Well, I'm going to the highway to the danger zone here, Lucas. We've got pick number 4, way too early prediction number 4. And this is where I again remind the folks, the Holiday Follow Challenge will kick off on Thanksgiving this year, as it does every year, where you vote with hashtag Holiday Follow Challenge to have your team broadcasted by the Dan K Show. We come out to your rink, we fire shirts at your fans, we cover the players, we do behind the scenes interviews, everything. It's a great time, fun celebration. You can vote early this year. If you go to TikTok, follow @the_Dan K Show on TikTok, and TikTok at us. Comment on a video, send us a video. You'll get 2 votes if you do so with hashtag way too early votes. Hashtag way too early votes. I'm going to tell you right now, the addition of Brit Hart is not an on-ice edition. It's an off-ice edition. Richmond wins the Holiday Follow Challenge. I think they climb back to their rightful seat atop the Holiday Follow Challenge. I'm telling you, 15,000 plus votes this year. I think they break the all-time total vote record with just one team.
Well, they do have a pretty strong TikTok presence, and with the opening up of that social media platform for some extra votes, I think they might be in prime position to do just that. Dan, I'm going to hold my national championship pick for last, my prediction, because I've got a pretty bold prediction for my national championship. First things first, we are gearing up, getting ready to go to the Southeast Showcase.
Yes.
It's going to be a fun time. Really excited. I am going to make a prediction which hopefully softens a blow for my arrival there. Not looking for red carpets, but looking to not be accosted. I do think that the Charlotte Rush are going to quote unquote win that showcase. I think that is a team. If we were going to take that showcase and put it out, meter it out according to the pool play rules that the USPHL National Championship is run by, I think the Charlotte Rush are going to win that quote unquote pool play showcase. I think they're returning with a really strong team. And I think that this early in the season, those fundamentals are going to carry them through. Also, I've been through the schedule. I think they've got a shot here to really put their stamp on the early part of the season. If
there's one thing that a character from SpongeBob and the Charlotte Rush know very well, it's how to find, actually from Family Guy, it's a phony. It's how to find a phony. And this is a real phony pick. Hashtag phony picks from Lucas Jones, okay? Hashtag phony picks. Write in with your hashtag phony pick for this year with a pick that you think won't happen, because we know Lucas didn't make this pick. And that's why I rush to make my last way too early prediction for the premiere. NCDC will be next week. Last year, I said as my final way too early prediction that the Charlotte Rush would double dip, that they would win at both levels. To do it 2 years in a row is insanity. It's impossible. It's insanity to do it last year. You couldn't do it again. Okay. So what I should do here is I should pick a premier champion, move on with my day. I look at what is going on in Charlotte right now, and I look at the roster that's there. That team I saw last season on the ice was the best junior hockey team in the Premier I've ever seen, outside of the Osmondson-Monkovich days. I would have loved to see that team play the Osmondson-Monkovich bunch right there. That would have been the matchup. Those two on the altar are the best teams, right, of all time in the Premier. I think it's a quad dip. I think it's a quad dip. I think it's a quadruple dip. I think it's a hashtag quip. I think it's hashtag quip. I think they double dip again. I think last year you spelled Chesapeake, Charlotte. I think this year you spelled champion, Rush, in both. And the big thing about this pick, Lucas, Dan K Bump, okay? Hashtag Dan K Bump to all of the USPHL Premier and Elite. Hashtag Dan K Bump. Let's see who takes this Dan K Bump on and proves me wrong by proving me right by winning the championship outside of Charlotte. But for the boys in Charlotte, Coach Schwabe at the Premier, Coach Moscow Smules in the Elite, Ray Sylvester, who is, he's tweeting all over the place. He's all over the place because Sylvester, from Tweety Bird, Sylvester, Tweety Bird, cat. He's a cool cat. He has my blazer, Lucas. I gave my blazer at the championship. And to the Crothers family, to Ryan and Julie, this is going to be, I think, a quad dip. I think it's a quit. I think it's a hashtag quit.
Well, Dan, if you thought my last pick wasn't strong enough, you're going to think that this one might be a little too strong because
Dan K
I think
will be fired.
You have been fired from the show. Listen, I think that I will say this. I think that last year's Premier Charlotte Rush team was potentially and probably the best team ever assembled at the Premier level in the USPHL. Hands down, 100%. And I think it took the best team ever assembled in the USPHL Premier to defeat the Florida Eels.
Yeah.
And I think the Florida Eels are winning the championship this year.
Wow.
I think that the Florida Eels are bringing back enough of their core talent. They've got Carone back. They've got an influx of new talented skaters. International guys can play systems, can play individually. And it's not so much that I think that, obviously, I don't think it's Charlotte's cup to lose this year. I think it's everyone else's cup to win. And I think the Florida Eels are returning with enough strength, with their goaltender, with enough of that depth that they have every year. They're going to come back and they're going to claim what they maybe felt was rightfully theirs last year.
I love what Frank and Frankie and the whole Scarpacci family are doing out there, man, in Florida, down at Fort Myers. This team's a real deal. We went down there. You want to talk about Alexander Carone? The mafioso in net. This guy is gigantic.
Yeah,
this guy's the size of the rink. They had to reshape the doors just to get their starting netminder into the building. Okay. How can we expect them to learn how to play hockey if we can't even fit inside the building, Lucas? That's the question I have for you. It's not a center for ants. This is a real deal team. For the Rush, you look at it, the target's on your back. The Hampton Roads Whalers dealt with it, man. They dealt with it in the past. And they went to every event. They went to every rink with an X marks the spot on their back. Folks were looking to take it to them every time they took the rink. The X is on your back. Coach Crothers and the entire staff there, you talk about Coach Schwabe, you talk about Moscow Smules, you talk about all these guys. They all talk about that Yankees culture, right? That win, that pride, that, hats on forwards. We do things right from the moment we walk into the rink to the moment we walk out. They do it right in that way, right? And they have these guys locked in that mentality. But what happens when a team walks in the Yankee Stadium? Look what the Orioles did this past weekend. They win 2 out of 3, a team that can't beat anybody, a team that can't get out of their own way. They have trouble touching first base, and they're out here winning 2 out of 3. You're going to deal with the best that everybody has to offer each and every time out. And to the rest of the USPHL Premier and Elite, you want to be the man, Lucas.
You got to beat the man.
Woo! Let's go. I can't wait for some hockey. We come back with the empty net to touch base again on that youth and midget events this weekend and to close out what your thoughts were from all the folks at home. Welcome to the empty net. Welcome to the empty net, our favorite portion of each and every week's show where we recap some of our favorite stories, talk to you, the folks at home. We converse. A lot of times we mention Town Wagon Box golf game, or, we talk about some fun stuff going on around the world. Lucas, today I want to start with the youth event in Wayne, New Jersey, with the midget event up there in Massachusetts. You had a little bit of an interesting run-in. Can you talk about that one?
Yeah, so I had a chance to cover the youth stuff. You had it at the Ice Vault, you had it at Bridgewater Sports Arena in Bridgewater, home of the Rockets, and you had it in Hollydale Ice Arena, home of the Philadelphia Hockey Club. 3 rinks, lots of great times. There was some the parents are into it. It's the kickoff, right? This is fun. These are where you get your 09s, your 07s, your 10s, even your 12s, some real young kids that are playing down there. But I had an interesting run-in with the Jersey Whalers 09 squad. I asked them if they wanted to be in the USPHL's TikTok of the event. And I don't know how much coffee they're allowed to have, but I would say maybe cut it by about all of it, because these kids were absolutely shot out of a cannon. The only thing that stopped them from constantly sprinting in circles around the rink was me asking them about TikTok. So the youth is fired up. To all those people out there, including myself, as I look in the camera at me, who said that maybe we shouldn't do TikTok, maybe TikTok's not the next big thing. Oh my gosh, were we wrong? These kids are fired up about 2 things, Dan. It's hockey and it's TikTok.
And we're here for it, Lucas. We're going to have you doing all the dance moves. We're going to be choreographing. We're going to be singing. We've got some really fun content coming at you. Some songs, Lucas. Some songs. Dan K, the musical? ? Lucas, my next story here for the Empty Net is an absolute heart warmer. We had a young man by the name of Anderson who reached out with a picture from his first day of school. And we all know that first day of school can be tough, but he's rocking the Dan K Show hat on the way into the building, Lucas. And that is, we talk about it. This is a show that we're trying to target the 6-year-old guy learning to skate, learning the game, wondering if he wants to play this thing. We want to make it fun for him or her. And same for the 110-year-old right out there watching the game. We want every single person, the grandparents all the way down to these little ones, learning if they love the game of hockey and trying to find that love, to love what we do. And I will tell you what, I woke up swelling up with tears this morning to this first thing tweet. This is what it's all about. You know what I mean? We want to make something that's fun for the young guys at home, whether it be, we're making a show that's targeting from 6 years old all the way through 110. We want to target every bit of the audience, man. We want to give the parents, families, grandparents something fun to watch, and we want to reach these young guys as well. I am absolutely ecstatic. I hope he takes my job one day. It's the next broadcasting legend.
Yeah, the youth is so important. It's the most important facet of this game right now. It's, you want to make sure that not only are you fostering the development of these youth divisions, but that even at the top, you're looking at these younger players, right? That at your NCDC, your premier, your elite levels, you're looking at these 15, 16-year-olds. You're trying to find these guys and see where they could be rather than where they currently are. And I got to be honest, Dan, watching a bunch of these youth games, there are some lightning rod skaters out there. There are guys who've got handles that would rival some of the guys in the NCDC. So I think the future of this game is very bright. It starts with these 07s all the way through your 12s. First of all, to think of 12 as a birth year, a little bit of anxiety inducing, a little bit of an existential crisis, but you know what? If that's the future of hockey, I'm here for it.
All right, hockey fans, we close this thing out. We remind you to reach out to us, okay? Reach out to us. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, especially TikTok. We need TikTok followers, okay? We don't look hip. We don't look with it, all right? We're not trying to give you any cap. We're trying to give you the facts on the game of hockey, the fun, and we've got bobbleheads on our TikTok. If that's not enough of a sell, I don't know what is. We will dance for entertainment. We will make the TikTok dances. We'll hit the trends. We're going to have sing songs. We're going to do all the fun. Go follow the Dan K Show on TikTok. And while you're at it, go follow at USPHL as well. With that in mind, I look to my right-hand man, Mike Consigliere, Mon Frere, from another mare, the cheese to my sandwich. Lucas, your parting words. That's about it. Way too early predictions. You heard it here first. Dan K says the quadruple dip is going to happen. Prove me wrong. You want to beat the man. Oh, wait, hold on. Let me rephrase that. You want to be the man you got to beat the man. And if you want to host a hockey show, you got to get those things right. When Dan K's on the mic, what is it, ladies and gents? It's always hockey night. Keep watching the Dan K Show and make sure to get in your way too early votes. Thank you to our sponsors, Elite Junior Profiles. Thank you to Selly Salt. Woo! Season up that food. Thank you to the Tampa Bay Juniors, to the Elmira Junior Enforcers. Thank you to everyone who supports the Dan K Show, especially you handsome little folks at the USPHL, www.usphl.com for all your junior hockey needs, the best brand in all the junior hockey. To the moon. Thanks for watching this week's Dan K Show.